Mitsubishi is recalling nearly 200,000 vehicles due to an issue that could increase the risk of a crash.
The automotive landscape is undergoing its most dramatic transformation since the introduction of the assembly line. As we approach 2026, certain car manufacturers find themselves teetering on the edge of relevance, caught between outdated business models and the industry's electric revolution. For consumers, this creates both opportunity and risk. The brands you've trusted for years might now represent questionable investments, while others struggle to adapt to changing consumer demands and technological requirements. Whether you're considering your next vehicle purchase or simply trying to understand which manufacturers might not weather the coming storm, recognizing these warning signs could save you thousands in depreciation and headaches. The automotive graveyard is littered with once prominent names like Pontiac, Saturn, and Saab. Which current brands might be next? Let's examine the car companies that industry analysts and consumer reports suggest you should approach with caution in 2026. The iconic Italian brand that once captured American hearts with its quirky 500 model has been on a steady decline that shows little sign of reversing by 2026. Fiat's troubles run deeper than simple market fluctuations. They represent fundamental issues with product planning and quality control that continue to plague the brand. Consumer reliability surveys consistently place Fiat near or at the bottom of manufacturer rankings. The brand's vehicles suffer from electrical system failures, transmission issues, and in-car electronics that frustrate owners long after the new car smell has faded. While all manufacturers experience occasional quality control issues, Fiat's problems have become systemic, creating a reputation that's increasingly difficult to overcome. More concerning is Fiat's shrinking North American footprint. Dealer networks have contracted significantly, with many metropolitan areas now lacking any Fiat representation whatsoever. This creates a dangerous cycle. Fewer dealers mean less visibility, reducing sales and further justifying dealer closures. For consumers, this translates to increased difficulty finding service locations and obtaining parts, a particularly troubling prospect given the brand's reliability challenges. Fiat's technology offerings have also fallen behind competitors. While mainstream manufacturers race to implement advanced driver assistance systems, enhanced connectivity features, and efficient hybrid powertrains, Fiat's technology suite feels increasingly dated. The brand that once prided itself on European flair now feels like a technological afterthought in a rapidly advancing market. Mitsubishi, the forgotten Japanese brand. While Japanese automakers generally enjoy strong reputations for quality and innovation, Mitsubishi stands as the forgotten child of Japan's automotive industry. Once known for rally-inspired performance cars and capable SUVs, Mitsubishi has faded into obscurity through a combination of stagnant product development and strategic missteps. Mitsubishi's current lineup suffers from extended product cycles that leave vehicles feeling outdated compared to competitors. The Outlander, while recently redesigned, spent nearly a decade without significant updates in its previous generation. This pattern of neglect extends across the lineup, with the Mirage subcompact representing technology and safety features from a previous era of automotive development. In a market where consumers expect regular updates and improvements, Mitsubishi's approach feels anachronistic. Innovation, once a Mitsubishi hallmark, with early adoption of technologies like all-wheel drive control and turbocharging, has virtually disappeared from the brand's identity. While competitors invest heavily in electrification, autonomous driving capabilities, and connected car services, Mitsubishi's technological advancements have been largely limited to implementing technologies developed by alliance partner Nissan, often years after they first appeared elsewhere. Perhaps most alarming for potential buyers is Mitsubishi's contracting dealer network. The brand's presence has diminished to the point where many regions have limited or no local dealership support. This creates significant challenges for routine maintenance, warranty service, and emergency repairs. Even in markets where dealers remain, parts availability has become increasingly problematic, extending repair times and frustrating owners. Infiniti, luxury identity crisis. Infiniti, Nissan's luxury division, finds itself in an increasingly precarious position as we approach 2026. Once positioned as a Japanese alternative to German luxury, the brand has struggled to establish a clear identity in an increasingly crowded premium market. This identity crisis manifests in product planning, technology implementation, and market positioning that leaves potential buyers questioning what Infiniti actually represents. The luxury market has bifurcated into distinct segments: traditional luxury, focusing on refinement and comfort; performance luxury, emphasizing driving dynamics; and tech-forward luxury, showcasing innovation. Infiniti, however, occupies an undefined middle ground, not quite as refined as Lexus, less performance-oriented than BMW, and falling behind Genesis in technology and value. This lack of clear positioning has created vehicles that, while competent, rarely excel in any particular area that luxury buyers prioritize. Infiniti's infotainment systems particularly highlight the brand's struggles. While competitors have developed intuitive, feature-rich interfaces with natural voice control and seamless smartphone integration, Infiniti's dual-screen approach feels convoluted and dated. The system's learning curve frustrates owners and creates an impression of technological stagnation at a time when luxury buyers expect cutting-edge digital experiences. Product planning decisions have further complicated Infiniti's market position. The brand has abandoned several vehicle segments entirely, reducing customer options and limiting appeal to diverse luxury shoppers. The discontinued QX70 left a gap in the performance-oriented crossover segment, while the brand's sedan lineup has contracted significantly. These departures from key market segments have reduced Infiniti's visibility and relevance in the broader luxury conversation. The Dodge transition troubles. Dodge has built its modern identity around unabashed American muscle and aggressive styling, capturing enthusiasts with Hemi-powered Challengers and Chargers that prioritize straight-line performance over subtlety. However, as we approach 2026, the brand faces an existential reckoning as regulatory pressures and market shifts threaten its core formula. The brand's transition from internal combustion performance to electrification presents particular challenges. Dodge's customer base has historically celebrated the visceral emotional experience of high-displacement V8 engines, the sound, vibration, and mechanical connection that electric powertrains fundamentally change. While the brand has promised to maintain its performance credentials in the electric era, the Charger Daytona SRT concept suggests a future that's performance-oriented but culturally different from the tire-smoking image Dodge has cultivated for years. Compounding these challenges is Dodge's aging product architecture. Both flagship performance vehicles, the Challenger and Charger, utilize platforms dating back to Daimler-Chrysler-era development. This aging underpinning affects everything from driving dynamics to safety feature implementation, leaving Dodge increasingly behind competitors in structural rigidity, advanced driver assistance systems, and modern connectivity. The brand's strategy of incremental improvements and special editions has sustained interest but cannot indefinitely compensate for fundamentally outdated architecture. Under Stellantis ownership, Dodge's future direction remains uncertain. The conglomerate's global focus raises questions about whether distinctly American muscle cars remain strategically important. While performance vehicles generate enthusiasm and brand identity, they represent relatively small sales volumes compared to high-volume crossovers and SUVs. This tension between brand heritage and business reality creates uncertainty for the brand's long-term positioning. Chrysler, the nearly extinct American brand. Few automotive declines have been as dramatic as Chrysler's fall from full-line manufacturer to virtual irrelevance. Once positioned as an American luxury brand with a diverse portfolio, Chrysler's lineup has contracted to just two models, the aging 300 sedan and the Pacifica minivan. This extreme product limitation leaves the brand virtually invisible in most vehicle segments and raises serious questions about its long-term viability. The brand's lack of clear identity compounds its product shortage. Historically occupying the space between mainstream and luxury, today's Chrysler has no defined market position. The Pacifica, while competent, competes in a shrinking minivan segment, while the 300 sedan represents decade-old engineering with minimal updates. This lack of focus leaves consumers wondering what Chrysler stands for beyond being a historical nameplate maintained primarily for sentimental reasons. Within the sprawling Stellantis Corporation home to 14 automotive brands, Chrysler appears to be an afterthought. The conglomerate's resources naturally flow toward higher volume, more profitable brands like Jeep and Ram, leaving Chrysler with limited investment for new product development. While Stellantis executives periodically affirm commitment to the brand, concrete product plans remain scarce, consisting mainly of concept vehicles and vague electrification promises rather than production-ready models. The few dealerships that still prominently feature Chrysler increasingly treat it as a secondary brand, focusing showroom space and marketing efforts on Jeep and Ram products that drive higher traffic and transactions. This reduced visibility further diminishes Chrysler's market presence, creating a downward spiral of declining awareness and consideration among potential buyers. Smart, the microcar misfit. The Smart brand represented a bold experiment in urban mobility when it arrived in North America, tiny, fuel-efficient vehicles designed specifically for crowded city environments where parking spaces come at a premium. Yet as we approach 2026, Smart's fundamental value proposition has collapsed under the weight of market realities and strategic miscalculations. Smart's limited practicality presents its most obvious challenge. The 4.2 model, with its two-seat configuration and minimal cargo capacity, requires significant lifestyle compromises that most American consumers ultimately proved unwilling to make. While European cities with medieval street layouts and extreme parking constraints created natural markets for microcars, North American urban planning and consumer expectations never aligned with Smart's extreme minimalism. The resulting niche appeal severely limited the brand's potential market share. More problematic is Smart's poor value proposition. Despite their minimal size and limited features, Smart vehicles carried premium price tags that approached or exceeded those of larger, more practical subcompact and compact cars. This price positioning reflected the engineering challenges of creating safe, feature-equipped vehicles in such small packages, but consumers understandably questioned paying more for less usable vehicle. When fuel prices moderated following the brand's introduction, the economic justification for Smart's compromises largely disappeared. The transition to electric powertrains further complicated Smart's market position. While the brand committed early to electrification, the resulting vehicles suffered from limited range that restricted their usability even for urban drivers. Competitors quickly introduced EVs with substantially greater capability at similar price points, making Smart's offerings appear even less compelling. Lincoln, premium brand in the shadow of luxury. Lincoln, Ford's premium division, has struggled for decades to establish a clear position between mainstream and true luxury segments. Despite periodic product revivals and marketing resets, the brand approaches 2026 with fundamental questions about its identity and value proposition that should give potential buyers pause. The most persistent challenge facing Lincoln is differentiation from parent company Ford. While the brand has moved away from obvious rebadging, Lincoln vehicles still share substantial mechanical and structural elements with Ford counterparts. This platform sharing creates value engineering challenges. When a Lincoln Navigator shares architecture with the Ford Expedition but commands a $20,000+ as premium, consumers naturally question whether the upgrades justify the price difference. The proliferation of well-equipped Ford trims like Platinum further narrows the perceived gap between the brands. Lincoln's attempts to compete with established luxury marques highlight these compromises. When compared directly with equivalent Mercedes-Benz, BMW, or even Genesis vehicles, Lincoln products often reveal their mass-market origins through subtle but noticeable differences in material quality, technology integration, and driving refinement. The brand occupies an uncomfortable middle ground, more premium than mainstream brands but lacking the engineering depth of dedicated luxury platforms. Marketing positioning has created additional confusion. Lincoln has cycled through multiple brand identities, from American luxury to quiet luxury to renewed performance focus, creating inconsistent messages about what the brand represents. These shifting priorities contrast with the consistent brand stories presented by more successful luxury competitors and leave potential buyers uncertain about Lincoln's core values. Dealer experience represents another area where Lincoln struggles to match luxury expectations. With most Lincoln showrooms sharing space with Ford dealerships, the premium ownership experience often feels compromised. From service department scheduling to showroom ambiance, the dual-brand approach creates challenges in delivering the high-touch experience luxury buyers expect. Alfa Romeo, beautiful but troublesome. Few automotive brands evoke passion like Alfa Romeo, with its storied Italian heritage, distinctive design language, and focus on driver engagement. Yet as we approach 2026, Alfa Romeo's emotional appeal increasingly collides with practical ownership realities that make the brand a potentially risky proposition for American buyers. Reliability concerns continue to plague Alfa Romeo despite multiple quality initiatives and the financial backing of first Fiat Chrysler and now Stellantis. Consumer reports and JD Power studies consistently rank Alfa among the least reliable brands, with owners reporting electronic glitches, driveline issues, and infotainment malfunctions at rates significantly higher than industry averages. While enthusiasts might accept occasional quirks as part of the Alfa Romeo experience, these persistent quality control issues undermine the brand's premium positioning and create frustration even among the most dedicated owners. Limited dealer support compounds these reliability challenges. Alfa Romeo's North American dealer network remains sparse compared to established luxury competitors, creating service deserts where owners must travel significant distances for warranty work and routine maintenance. This limited footprint affects not just service convenience but also parts availability. Components that might be readily available for a BMW or Lexus often require extended waits when ordered for an Alfa Romeo. For owners experiencing vehicle issues, these delays add another layer of frustration to the ownership experience. Depreciation presents another significant concern for potential Alfa Romeo buyers. The combination of reliability concerns, limited dealer support, and niche market positioning has created resale value challenges across the lineup. Models like the Giulia and Stelvio often experience first-year depreciation exceeding 40%, substantially higher than segment competitors. This rapid value erosion creates significant financial risk for buyers, particularly those financing their purchases with minimal down payments. Jaguar, the luxury brand at a crossroads. Jaguar, the storied British luxury marque, approaches 2026 at a critical inflection point. Having announced plans to become an all-electric luxury brand, Jaguar faces the challenge of reinventing itself while maintaining relevance during a protracted transition period that leaves current products increasingly disconnected from the company's stated future direction. Jaguar's delayed EV transition creates immediate market challenges. While the brand pioneered premium electric vehicles with the I-Pace, subsequent development has stalled as the company focuses on its complete reinvention planned for 2025 and beyond. This strategic pause has left Jaguar with an aging product lineup that lacks the latest electric and hybrid technology at precisely the moment when luxury buyers are accelerating their shift toward electrification. The resulting perception gap positions Jaguar as a brand caught between eras rather than leading the transition. Sales figures reflect this challenging position, with Jaguar volumes declining significantly across major markets. In the United States, annual sales have fallen below 15,000 units, less than a tenth of German luxury competitors, and insufficient to maintain strong dealer networks and marketing presence. This sales decline creates a reinforcing cycle where reduced market presence leads to lower consideration and further sales deterioration. Competition from established luxury brands and new entrants further complicates Jaguar's outlook. Traditional rivals like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Audi have invested heavily in electrification while maintaining strong internal combustion offerings during the transition period. Simultaneously, new luxury EV specialists like Lucid and Rivian have established positions as technology leaders without legacy brand baggage. Jaguar must find space between these two competitive forces while executing a complete brand reinvention. Mini maxing out on price, minimal on value. Mini redefined premium small cars when BMW reinvented the brand in 2001, combining retro British styling with German engineering and a focus on driving dynamics. As we approach 2026, however, Mini's fundamental value equation has deteriorated through a combination of price inflation, reliability concerns, and competitive pressures that challenge the brand's market position. Mini's premium pricing strategy has progressively pushed the brand beyond rational value considerations. Base models routinely start where fully equipped mainstream compacts top out, while heavily optioned variants can approach entry luxury sedan pricing. This price positioning reflected Mini's unique market position when the brand offered truly distinctive vehicles without direct competitors. Today, however, consumers can choose from numerous premium small cars and crossovers that match or exceed Mini's performance, technology, and interior quality, often at lower price points with superior warranty coverage. Reliability concerns have further undermined Mini's premium positioning. Consumer Reports consistently ranks Mini below average in reliability, with owners reporting issues related to engines, transmissions, electronics, and power equipment. These quality control challenges create a troubling contradiction: vehicles commanding premium prices, yet delivering below average dependability. For consumers, this disconnect fundamentally challenges Mini's value proposition, particularly as ownership extends beyond the warranty period. Product planning decisions have diluted Mini's brand identity while failing to address market shifts. The lineup has expanded to include vehicles that stretch the definition of Mini, including the Clubman and Countryman that abandon the brand's small car focus without delivering the space efficiency of purpose-built crossovers. Simultaneously, the core Mini Cooper has grown substantially larger than its original incarnation while competing in a shrinking small car segment as consumer preferences shift toward crossovers and SUVs. Mini's ownership costs extend beyond initial purchase price to include premium fuel requirements, higher than average insurance costs, and service expenses reflecting the brand's BMW parentage. When combined with rapid depreciation, particularly on heavily optioned models, the total cost of ownership often exceeds that of more practical alternatives with stronger reliability records and better warranty coverage. Genesis, the uncertain luxury contender. Genesis represents one of the most ambitious luxury brand launches in recent automotive history, with Hyundai's premium division aiming to challenge established players through design excellence, technology innovation, and value positioning. Yet, as we approach 2026, Genesis faces structural challenges that create uncertainty about its long-term position in the luxury hierarchy. The brand's dealer network limitations present its most immediate obstacle. Genesis has struggled to establish a dedicated dealership experience separate from Hyundai showrooms, creating inconsistent customer interactions that often fall short of luxury expectations. While the brand has announced plans for standalone facilities, implementation has progressed slowly and unevenly across markets. This inconsistent retail approach contrasts sharply with the cohesive luxury experience offered by established competitors and undermines Genesis's premium positioning regardless of product quality. Brand awareness remains stubbornly low despite critical acclaim and increasing product competitiveness. Consumer surveys consistently show that Genesis suffers from limited recognition even among luxury shoppers, with many potential buyers unaware of the brand's positioning, value proposition, or relationship to Hyundai. This awareness gap creates a significant marketing challenge requiring sustained investment to overcome, particularly difficult in a fragmented media environment where building brand equity demands both time and substantial resources. Genesis faces the additional challenge of competing against brands with decades or centuries of established heritage. Luxury purchases often involve emotional and aspirational factors extending beyond product specifications to include brand perception, status recognition, and identity association. While Genesis products offer competitive features and performance, the brand lacks the historical associations and cultural position that often influence luxury purchase decisions. Overcoming this heritage deficit requires exceptional product execution and patience for brand equity to develop organically. The brand's electrification strategy adds another layer of complexity to its market position. While Genesis has announced ambitious EV plans, the transition period creates uncertainty about powertrain focus and potential orphaned technologies as the luxury market accelerates toward electrification. For consumers considering Genesis vehicles during this transition, questions about long-term support and residual values create additional purchase considerations beyond the vehicle's immediate competitive positioning. Buick, the forgotten middle ground. Buick occupies an increasingly precarious position in the American automotive landscape, caught between mainstream brands and luxury markers without a clear value proposition to distinguish it from either group. As we approach 2026, this identity confusion creates fundamental questions about Buick's market relevance and long-term viability. The brand's positioning between mainstream and luxury segments once represented a logical market niche offering near-luxury amenities without full luxury pricing. Today, however, this middle ground has been squeezed from both directions. Mainstream brands like Honda, Toyota, and Mazda offer premium trim levels with features and materials that match or exceed Buick's offerings, while true luxury brands have introduced more accessible entry models that tempt buyers to stretch their budgets for stronger brand equity. This competitive vice has left Buick struggling to articulate why consumers should choose its products over either more value-oriented, mainstream alternatives or slightly more expensive luxury options. Buick's aging customer demographic presents additional challenges for long-term brand health. The average Buick buyer remains significantly older than industry averages, creating questions about sustainable demand as this core customer base naturally contracts. Despite multiple attempts to attract younger buyers through design updates and marketing repositioning, the brand has struggled to overcome perceptions established through decades of targeting older demographics. This generational branding challenge creates a fundamental obstacle to expanding Buick's market reach beyond its traditional customer base. Product planning decisions have further complicated Buick's market position. The brand's transition to an all-crossover lineup eliminated sedan options that once defined Buick's identity, while its current vehicles occupy segments crowded with strong competitors from both mainstream and luxury brands. Without distinctive powertrain options, breakthrough technology, or class-leading features, Buick products risk becoming invisible in cross-shopping comparisons despite their fundamental competence. General Motors' resource allocation priorities raise additional questions about Buick's future development. With GMC generating higher margins, Cadillac representing GM's technological flagship, and Chevrolet delivering volume, Buick's strategic importance within the corporation appears limited beyond its role in the Chinese market. This positioning creates uncertainty about future product development and brand investment that should factor into long-term ownership considerations. Land Rover luxury with lingering reliability issues. Land Rover occupies a unique position in the luxury landscape, combining authentic off-road capability with premium appointments and distinctive British design. Yet as we approach 2026, the brand's persistent reliability issues and ownership costs create significant considerations for potential buyers weighing capability against dependability. Reliability concerns have dogged Land Rover for decades despite multiple quality initiatives under various ownership structures. J.D. Power's vehicle dependability studies and Consumer Reports reliability surveys consistently rank Land Rover among the least reliable automotive brands, with owners reporting problems across mechanical systems, electronics, and infotainment at rates significantly exceeding industry averages. While recent models have shown incremental improvements, the gap between Land Rover and industry leaders remains substantial enough to impact ownership satisfaction and resale values. Ownership costs extend well beyond purchase price to create significant financial considerations for Land Rover buyers. Routine maintenance costs typically exceed those of other luxury brands, while out-of-warranty repairs can reach startling figures due to complex engineering, labor-intensive service procedures, and expensive components. Insurance premiums reflect both vehicle values and repair costs, further increasing the total cost of ownership. These financial factors create situations where the long-term expense of Land Rover ownership significantly exceeds the initial purchase premium. The brand's complex technology integration creates additional ownership challenges. Land Rover vehicles incorporate sophisticated off-road systems, air suspension components, and electronics that provide capabilities most owners rarely utilize but must nevertheless maintain. These systems often develop issues as vehicles age, creating repair scenarios where relatively minor functional problems require extensive diagnostic procedures and component replacement. This complexity particularly affects second and third owners who may purchase vehicles without full appreciation of potential maintenance requirements. Land Rover's transition toward electrification adds uncertainty to the brand's reliability outlook. While electrification potentially reduces mechanical complexity, Land Rover's initial hybrid systems have demonstrated teething issues typical of the brand's new technology introductions. As the company accelerates its electric transition through 2026 and beyond, questions remain about how effectively it will implement these new powertrains given its historical challenges with technology reliability. Maserati, Italian passion with practical problems. Maserati embodies Italian automotive passion with its evocative styling, emotive powertrains, and racing heritage. Yet as we approach 2026, the storied Trident brand faces practical challenges that make its vehicles potentially problematic propositions for luxury buyers seeking both emotion and rationality in their purchasing decisions. Quality control issues persist across the Maserati lineup despite the brand's premium pricing and luxury positioning. Owners regularly report fit and finish inconsistencies, electrical gremlins, and infotainment glitches that contradict expectations for vehicles commanding six-figure price tags. These quality challenges reflect both traditional Italian manufacturing variability and the financial realities of producing relatively low-volume vehicles without the economies of scale enjoyed by higher-volume luxury competitors. While Maserati vehicles deliver emotional experiences, they often demand owner tolerance for quirks and imperfections that more mainstream luxury brands have largely eliminated. Depreciation presents perhaps the most significant financial consideration for potential Maserati buyers. The brand's vehicles typically experience first-year value declines exceeding 30%, with depreciation continuing at above-average rates throughout the ownership cycle. This rapid value erosion creates situations where 3-year-old Maserati models sell for less than half their original transaction prices, a financial reality that fundamentally alters the total cost of ownership regardless of purchase method. For buyers financing their purchases, this depreciation curve can quickly create negative equity positions that complicate future vehicle transitions. Service infrastructure remains limited compared to established luxury competitors, creating potential challenges for Maserati owners outside major metropolitan areas. The brand's North American dealer network covers primary markets but leaves significant geographic gaps that can require owners to travel substantial distances for specialized service and warranty work. This limited footprint affects both convenience and potential resale markets, as subsequent buyers often consider service proximity when evaluating pre-owned luxury purchases. Maserati's product roadmap appears increasingly uncertain under Stellantis ownership. While the brand has announced electrification plans and new model introductions, its position within the sprawling automotive conglomerate raises questions about investment priorities and commitment to maintaining Maserati's distinct character. As industry consolidation continues, niche luxury brands must continuously justify their existence through profitability and strategic alignment, areas where Maserati has historically struggled despite its emotional appeal. Nissan, the mainstream brand in decline. Nissan once represented the innovative edge of Japanese automotive manufacturing, introducing technologies like continuously variable transmissions and mass-market electric vehicles while challenging competitors with distinctive design and value positioning. As we approach 2026, however, Nissan faces fundamental challenges that have transformed the brand from industry leader to potential purchase risk. Quality perception issues have progressively damaged Nissan's reputation following years of cost-cutting initiatives implemented under previous management. While the company is publicly recommitted to quality improvement, consumer confidence rebuilding requires consistent execution across multiple product generations, a process that remains incomplete. Reliability surveys continue to rank Nissan below industry averages, with particular concerns surrounding the brand's continuously variable transmissions that have experienced persistent issues despite multiple redesigns. These quality concerns create warranty risks for buyers, particularly as vehicles age beyond manufacturer coverage periods. Aging platforms and delayed redesigns have left Nissan vehicles feeling outdated compared to more frequently refreshed competitors. Models like the Frontier pickup endured production runs exceeding 15 years with minimal updates, while even volume products like the Altima and Rogue typically experience longer life cycles than segment competitors. This development approach creates situations where Nissan products incorporate older technology, dated interior designs, and chassis engineering that lags class leaders, factors that impact both driving experience and residual values. Nissan's financial challenges have limited investment in competitive advantages that once distinguished the brand. Infotainment systems lag behind user experience leaders, material quality reflects aggressive cost management, and powertrain development has focused on refinement of existing technologies rather than innovation leadership. These constraints have transformed Nissan from an innovation leader to a follower at precisely the moment when industry technological change is accelerating through electrification, connectivity, and driver assistance systems. Dealer network challenges compound these product issues. Following financial restructuring, relationships between Nissan and its dealer body have become strained, with retailers questioning the brand's commitment to providing competitive product and marketing support. This tension has resulted in inconsistent customer experiences, reduced dealer investments in facilities, and in some cases, retailers abandoning the franchise entirely. For consumers, this network instability creates questions about long-term service support and warranty administration.